Hey guys, my name's Ethan, this is Cobra, and welcome to the series where I teach you how to build a Discord bot. Today is a new day. This is a different session from the other one. So I do have a few things to mention before we get into it. If you don't want to hear all the admin stuff, then there'll hopefully, if I remember, be a timestamp in the description below. If not, you can just skip through. So a few things. One, this is actually the second take at recording these next two videos. I did a recording session for it before, but it kind of went a bit wrong, so I just decided to redo them, and it gives me an opportunity to redo them better. And also, of course, it has been a little bit of time since, it's been a few days since the last recording session. Since then, a few of the videos have actually gone up, and I've gotten a bit of feedback about them. One thing that I gave feedback on myself is try not to smash the keyboard too much, so I'm going to try and stop doing that. But another thing was that people thought that I was talking too fast. It sounded like I was nervous, which it's a new venture. I am a bit, but I'll try and slow things down a little bit. So yes, today we're going to be talking about moderation commands and some basic auto moderation. Some moderation commands will allow us to see some more advanced syntax with the commands, as well as mod the server really. Actually, there is one more thing that is genuinely important, because I didn't keep backups of this stuff. I kept the backups of the template, so I could kind of backtrace code. But whether or not this code looks identical to the code we left off in the last time, I'm not 100% sure. If there isn't, it'll be minor changes, and I'll find them anyway. But just let you know, if something looks marginally different, and that's probably why. Yeah, we are gonna go. Let me find the starts. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build a clear command, a command to clear messages. There are a few different ways you can do this in the API. There's kind of the accepted way, or the way you're supposed to do it, and the way you're not supposed to do it. This command will incorporate both for ease of use, because again, this is a single server thing. If you're building a bot for Discord bots, you do not want to do the way you're not supposed to do it, otherwise you'll get done for API abuse. Now this command, let me just this command can take an optional argument, which is something we haven't kind of dived in before. There are, in theory, two ways of doing it. There is this way, which is to set the argument as a keyword argument. I don't know how reliable that is. I know it works in some. I've had it work in some instances, and I've had it not work in some instances. I generally don't tend to rely on it, because in a situation with multiple arguments, it's probably going to end up going wrong, and you're going to need to use different types of stuff anyway. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go up to the top. We're going to go here, and we're going to from typing import optional. So what that will do is it will allow us to put in an optional argument here. I really don't know what the main purpose of this optional library is, because it's like maybe it's like for more dynamic typing purposes. I don't know, but this isn't a Discord thing. This is actually in the main library. There is another version of it that Discord utilizes that we'll be using, but we're not getting to that yet. So the general thing about guild permissions, well, it's not actually guild permissions, it's permissions in. What this will mean is we pass it a channel object, and it will look through the permissions in that channel to see if the author of the command has managed messages. If they do, then we will delete the invocation message, and we need to do ctext.message.delete. My typing does on point as normal, and then we need to do a few more condition checks. Well, actually, I'll write the syntax, and then we'll deal with the permissions later, just so you can see what the actual function looks like. Delete messages, because it is a bit of a weird looking one. Oh wait, ctext.history limit it equals number, and then we need to flatten the entire list. So what that'll do is we'll start with the what is passed in. So basically this awaits CTUX history. The history command actually goes back through a channel's history and grabs all every message it can find. If you're doing it, the flatten variable is an asynchronous function, so you call it with an await, but this will basically return it as a list. The limit parameter tells the function how far to go, essentially. So yeah, there is also an after parameter which takes a datetime object, but we're not going to be dealing with that at the moment. I think there are a few others that I've never needed to use as well. So that will delete all those messages. So this function actually has a few limitations imposed on it by the API. It's a very quick function. It will delete all these messages very quickly, but its maximum number it can do at a time is 100. I can only delete messages sent within the last 14 days. If this is fine for you, then all you need to do is put this, and you don't need to worry about it anymore. That's basically it. I mean, you can add like a, I'll just copy, we'll actually write it out. You can do like a little temporary thing saying that the message is, or saying that the process is done, and you can await. We are actually going to need to import something else for this. We're going to need to go to the very, very top, and from asyncio import sleep, and then we'll go all the way back down again. Oh, I've gone too far. It's here. I was expecting the program to be longer because I've already technically done all this once, but never mind. Sleep for 5 seconds. At the very least, I know that everything actually kind of works. Done message dot delete, and then after 5 seconds, that will delete that message. So let's quickly go ahead and have a look, see if there's any lasting errors. Oh, did we? I must have accidentally unimported. Yeah, I accidentally. Sorry, that was my bad. I think that should still be in your program. I'm not sure. I might have just accidentally deleted that line. Again, there's no guarantees that this is going to be 100% the same. So if you bring the server back into view, because it was on the other screen, I'll bot start it up. If I say do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then clear 5, it'll do 5. It'll send a thing called done, and then that will go away after a while. Yep. However, if we put clear, just in general, it will default to 100, and then it will just wipe the entire channel out. I'm pretty sure there wasn't 100 messages in that channel. No, it wasn't, so it'll wipe the whole thing out. You can set that limit to basically however you want, so you can set this default to 5, and it will by default delete 5. Or you can set it to where the user has to, or the invoker has to clearly define it. The next thing, me.command, oh my god, help if I actually spell it properly. Name equals kick. We're going to be kicking members next. So kick, and the kick and ban commands are actually roughly the same. So we're going to go up to the top here. I'll explain what I'm doing in a bit. I'm going to move this onto a new line because we're getting quite big now. That line is getting fairly long, and we're going to need to import something else, and I don't particularly want to import something that goes off screen, really. I mean, I do at least somewhat try to follow Pepe nowadays. Greedy, so we need to do a greedy, which is what we just imported from Discord extension.commands. Greedy is a type of optional where it will try and convert as many arguments as possible into the type that you pass it, in this case a Discord member, and then essentially combine them all into a single list targets. So it's quite a complicated little thing. We don't need to define a default argument for that because it is always a list. And yeah, and then we'll have this. This asterisk there, hang on, let me just, this is going to need to be an optional thing as well, and that needs to be an empty string as a default. value. This asterisk here basically means that every argument passed to the function beyond that must be part of the same thing. So say for example I sent, I don't know, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there was an argument called test, or if there was a command called test, sorry, it would actually take all these 5 arguments as well, take all these 5 words as 5 separate arguments because they're space. I forgot the word. I suppose space separated. Word beginning with D is like delimited. I forget. I forget the word. I don't use it often. But if I was to say put an asterisk, say had a test and then you had the first argument and I had an asterisk and then had a second argument, it would actually take 2, 3, 4, 5 as a separate argument to 1, and then it will only actually take 2 arguments. So yeah, essentially we can abuse that, well, not essentially abuse, but use it to provide a reason so that we don't have to put it in quotes, because if you put something in quotes it's automatically taken as a single argument. But because our reason could potentially be quite long and no one's really going to know to put quotes, and we can do it, we might as well. So the same thing as normal. If ctx.guild permissions ctx.author, sorry, author.guild permissions.kick member. So if the member is allowed to kick member, you can do this. You can set this to roles as well. So you can set if, I don't know, get.role mod in, let's see, member.roles. So if you wanted it role based, you could do that. I just do it by permission based because it's easier. It's more versatile, but if you know exactly how your program is going to run, then it doesn't really matter. We don't want that. So for targeting targets await, we will need to do a little bit of extra validation later, but for now I'm just going to do the basic logic. Await target.kick, and then we can set the reason as the reason. If that's blank, it will just come up as blank. And then again, when my voice stops breaking, just send the done, and then have our same else you're not allowed scrub. So this line will basically kick everyone that was passed into the function. So if you pass 20 members into the function, it will kick all 20 of them. It will literally blanket kick everyone you pass in. And if the reason is specified, it will use the same reason for all of them. So just keep that in mind. There is probably a way you can specify multiple reasons, but there's not really much of a point in doing that. I can think of a way of doing it where you'd have reasons like greedy strings, and then each reason has to be passed in quotes, and it will probably work it out. And then you can do for index in range len or whatever. It doesn't matter because we're not going to be doing that. But this target.kick function actually has a bit of a problem. While it cannot kick administrators, it can't kick server administrators, or at the very least it can't kick the server owner. It might be able to kick admins, but I really don't think it can. It can be used to kick members in higher up in the role hierarchy than you. So if you're, say, a moderator and there's like a head moderator or something, and they don't have admin permissions as such, they just have more permissions, then that moderator could kick the super moderator. We don't particularly want that. So we're actually going to set another condition called if ctx.author is get.superior, which is a function that we're going to create. ctx.author and then target. So if the author is superior in the role hierarchy, then kick them. So we're actually going to build that function. Okay, so slightly worried it might still exist, but it's fine. Superior of, I don't know, member 1 and member 2. There are a few different ways you can do this. You can do this in a Boolean sense. So the general logic is member1 dot top role dot let's see, position, isn't it? Yeah, position. So you could do something like this: top role dot position, and that would actually return a Boolean value. While that makes a little more sense up here, it doesn't make as much sense down here unless you had a function maybe called like is author superior or something, and then that will return true or false. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do this the slightly simpler way. We're just going to leave that there for a second. If actually, I could use that whole line really, to be honest. If member1 dot top role dot position is greater than member2 thing, then we need to return member1. Oops, elif, and this is an elif, not an else. We need to copy that, put that in, and just swap the sign around. So if it's smaller, then return member2, and if they have the same one, then return none, which will basically do the same job as returning member2. Well, actually, you can probably just. It depends if you wanted having it like that allows you to create some more personalized error messages if you wanted to do something like that. So you could say the member return from get superior. So you could have, I don't know, if CTX author is not. Let's see. Let's do something in Python 8. Member. Again, don't know if you need brackets separating that or not. Is not superior member equals that, then you could do. Oh wait, CTX. Ignore the fact I spelled that wrong. I know that. You could do like superior member is not cannot be kicked or something like that. If you wanted to. If you want to do in Python 8, this is how you would do it. Again, brackets. Don't know. This isn't Python 8, and I don't particularly want to do error messages for that sort of thing. So we will leave that. You could do a counter if you wanted, but we won't bother doing something like that. And then the good thing with the ban command is that we can basically copy and paste the thing and get every mention of the word kick and replace it to ban. Thankfully, Sublime has a really easy way of doing that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, there's one more thing with ban. There is the days to delete keyword argument. When you ban someone from Discord manually, it automatically deletes their last 7 days worth of messages. If you do it through the API, the default is 1. I don't know why, but we're going to set it to 7. And then yeah, pretty much everything is fine. You can still target multiple people at once. I might be able to find a way of. Oh, I don't think I can. Because I don't think I can actually find a way of showing you because I only have one test account. Yes, sir. But it does work. Trust me. So let's go in here and let's kick my. I don't think the bot can kick itself. It might be able to. Actually, that'd be really funny if it could. So we're going to kick our poor little test account. Our test account is gone, as you can see. Goodbye. There's no way of this is the previous attempt at this. There's no way of exactly being able to work out how the member was kicked without looking in the audit logs, which are going to be turned off because I have stream mode enabled, because OBS is open. But as you can see, you have so tutorial bot kicked my test account. So if you had that, there is a way of getting into the audit logs and checking there, but we're not going to bother doing that because that is unnecessary. I'm going to quickly invite my account back. This shouldn't take too long because I can just go into my DMs and I have this account whenever Discord decides it wants to sync itself up. Coincidence, I'm actually still in the thing. Okay, Discord's connecting. I'll be back in a second. Okay, there we go, we're back in. Yeah, Discord had a bit of a fit. Apparently the average response time for one of my bots at the moment is 1.85 seconds, so Discord's holding up really well. It's normally like, it can get as low as like 0.05, so you know. We're gonna quickly ban our test account. I don't know, Erica. Oh, I messed something up. Days to delete. Oh, it's not days to delete, it's delete message days. Oh, I make that mistake every time. Days to delete sounds more nice. I don't know, it just sounds nicer, but there you go. There you go. So as you can see, if we go into the bans, he's now banned. And now he is not banned. Hey. But yeah, that basically clears all of our mod commands. Now we're going to do some auto modding. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and we're going to set a new condition. We're going to put it in as an AND. Actually, we're going to get experimental. You can nest it if you want to do specific things. We're just going to say and not check curses, because we're going to have a little function that checks for particular curse words or expletives, depending on how you want to, or swear words, or profanities, or we have a lot of words for swear words, don't we? Oh man! So basically, this is saying if the message author is not a bot, and we need to build this function, by the way, but if the message does not contain any curses, then do this. You can do a if not message author bot and an if not curses, and then you can do some nested stuff and some more complex stuff. But yeah, we're going to create a new token. We're going to create a new constant up here, and we're going to have a selection of curse words in it. Now I'm only going to select a few, and I'm sorry, but to really demonstrate the power of the bot, I'm going to have to use some of the worst ones, some of the really, really horrible ones. I mean, obviously in your server you wouldn't want any of the really, really bad ones. So we're going to filter out poo and bum. I'm really sorry that you I had to say. I'm really sorry you haven't even have to look at those words right now. But very serious matter when it comes to cleaning out spam. So we're going to create a little function down here. We're just going to have it on its own, and it's going to be called async def check curses. And all our logic is going to be here. So if we'll leave that for a second. Let's find the function here. There we go. So we're going to use a keyword that I actually learned very recently, the any function. And when I say very recently, I mean like 2 or 3 days ago. And there is actually something up here. I think it might be the assignment that could benefit from this as well. I was looking at it earlier. It's like if any role name, yeah, I could work with that as well. I might actually just repatch that. No, I'll do this first, and then I'll patch that up there. There we go, because this is a simple implementation of it. So it takes an iterable, and we are going to have to do a bit of list comprehension here. I do apologise. So we're saying if curse is in our message, for curse in curses, because it's constant, and the general consensus is that constants are defined in all caps, just to denote that they are constants. It doesn't make a difference, but never mind. So what we're saying in here is if any curse in the tuple curses is in our message content, and the dot lower basically just escapes any capitalization exploitatives. Then we want to delete the message, and we want to send a warning, or at least I do. You don't have to do this, of course. I'm just going to copy and paste this because it's easier than typing this all out. So basically, we're just going to mention the user, saying that we put that in completely wrong place, saying don't use language like that in here. And what we're going to do is return true. So what this will do is it will return true out this function, and when this is called, it will actually use what it returns to make a decision on whether or not to proceed. So if message.author.bot is not true and check curses is not true, then do the thing. And we're going to turn false down here, otherwise it will turn none. I think that will probably still work, but you want to be kind of pathonic and make everything very clear. So we're going to go and patch this back up, which is something I didn't do last time I did this. But if any, so be get.role name. I've got to use the list convention, otherwise I'm going to get lost. In member.roles for role name in colors.roles.values. There we go. Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? Genuinely extremely happy I found this. And we're back. Sorry about that cut, my flatmate just entered and the door is literally my front door over there. My door is what, 2 inches from that door? I'm not even kidding. And that door is extremely loud. And I didn't want that to break the microphone. Luckily I just finished the sentence, so yeah, this is anything is really nice, isn't it? If list comprehension is still something that you're struggling with, I would recommend a syntax video for it. There is one around. That's how I learned about list comprehension at the very least. We're going to kind of test this using this absolutely grotesque language again. So you've got help, you've got test. If I were to, we're not even going to say it because it's too bad. Oh, we didn't do it. What the heck? Runtime was never await. Oh, it was never awaited. I was looking at that bottom line. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, we need to await this. Sorry, that was my bad. Because it's an asynchronous function. Oh god, there's too many poos. There we go. Don't use language like that here. We're gonna clean, purge everything. Purge everything of poo. We don't want any poo in here. But yeah, that'll work as effectively for bum as well. And that works with the phrases as well. So if you wanted to do, oh no, you are bad. That's a good one. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, this particular implementation, it needs to be exact. There are probably routines you could write that could take these and kind of do a near enough, or make them follow the law of near enough that us humans do follow, and that. But we're not going to do it in this video. So that actually concludes this video. That's all the mod commands, some advanced command syntax, and some basic auto moderation for swear words and stuff. Next time we will be creating a database for us to use for experience systems and stuff like that, and we'll also be doing a few different commands of the database. But yeah, as always, if you have any feedback, then feel free to leave them in the comments below, as well as if you have any questions on what you've seen in today's video. Yeah, I will see you next time. But until then,